well, we are switching into yet another dry version of Arabia, so that's the second one today. Well, and we are also seeing that Pitoch is playing Mongol, Sobek is Mayan, Menote is Han, and we see a proper mirror with Arteras Han, Foghorn Mongol, and Nimano Mayan. You can see that we have a full-on switch of LeO's players. So the first winning squad is right now just going for a beer or something to celebrate their victory. And overall, we see that blue is pocket, so we have a Mayan pocket in here for the LeOs, whereas for the opponents we have the gray player in pocket, which means that Menote, who is Hans, okay, so that's a difference, Han pocket versus the Mayan pocket in here. So you can guess what's going to be better in the chat. So far I don't see any movements that would signal any stealing. So it doesn't seem like that either of the players is actually attempting anything like that. It seems like Sobek might be thinking about it, as he has just discovered the sheep, so he might be going somewhere more into the offensive side, but has he also discovered actually the piggies at the top? Ah, yeah, he has. Okay, so he might be just now going for a bit of a luck run, but since he's in a pocket, it's probably not going to be all that easy for him to get to his opponents fast enough. Otherwise, slightly unfortunate placement yet again of the base of the red player, because once you are close to the wall of the map, of course, it means that your resources are placed offensively outwards of you. But in the meantime, at any rate, he's still got in a pretty good spawn with the stone on the right and the deer at the top, so it's not really all that bad in the end, as Pitoch 2K is going for a loom right about now. Probably the first player, I haven't noticed it before, so yep, he just wants to be safe before any drush comes his way, or maybe even some wolfies somewhere around the map make his life difficult. Bit of scouting with the sheep, between yellow and green, of course, because he can afford it, as it would be, in worst case scenario, going for his ally, which is not really all that bad, considering that they are in one team, and we can see that he's already luring the boar in, and seems to be having a pretty decent map with the stone and the gold behind him, not the gold at the back, and the boar as well. And does he know about it? That he knows where to go. Oh, was I actually talking about green? Oh yeah, I was talking about green. So let's switch into the correct player, as Arteras, that's the one. And yeah, he knows about the second board, so no any kind of problem for him. But he is, in the meantime, anytime, or rather anyway, switching into the mill in the forefront. Not really going for the board yet, but it's probably just a question of time before he goes there. Right now, wanting to get some extra food before his next villager was done, so that he actually doesn't have any unfortunate idle time on the town center. And right now he's going for a second board, so let's have a look somewhere else around the map. Well, blue is already working on walling himself in, combination of palisade walling and the house, but he has been scouted by Pitoch, so unfortunately that's exactly what he knows what's going to happen, and that means that Pitoch is also knowing the lay of the land around his own base. Which means that he will know exactly where to go for a raid-in, but seeming, rather looking at the map, it seems to be kinda okay from the right side, but not really from the top, because the gold is not ideal combined with the board. And are we going to see a last minute steal? Well, that would suck for blue, but no, he gets lucky. He gets lucky, as purple unfortunately didn't notice for him. He noticed just a bit too late, but is he going to steal it, or rather try to steal it? It's going to be a bit too late, because the TC is just too close. Yeah, it's not going to work. Just a bit too late. So Nimano definitely got the break in here, but at least for Pitoch, it is a bit of scouting for him, so he knows a bit more about the blue's base and where to go, and also he knows that the gold placement is pretty sucky for Nimano. It's going to be pretty hard to defend for him. He's probably going to use it as part of his wall, as it's kinda natural. And he might be forced to rely on the gold at the bottom, which I'm not sure if he knows about. Let's check. He knows. So he can go there, but it's kinda really unfortunate the placement of the top gold for him. Also because of the slight hilt in here, which can be used by some archers if he is raided. So Peter going for Feudal Age as the first one, as Mongol. And they are just communicating that he wants Sobek, the pocket, to help with some scouts, and Sobek is The Mayan, well, that's probably not going to work all that much, but if he manages by scout by the Eagle Warrior, then that is going to work. And I think that might have been really it. And the bulk of the army is going to be coming in from Pitok himself. This Mongol, he could be definitely going for some scout rushing, as that is usual for them to do. Second feudal age is coming from Menotti, so you can see that Leos are definitely taking their time in advancing into the next age. But they are basically building their economy. You can see that all three of them are at 22 villas, whereas only Sobek is at 23. Otherwise, Menotti 20, Pitoch 19, because they are the ones advancing. And let's see if it's going to be strong enough for them. Will we see some Drush from somebody? Pitoch, well, doesn't seem to be just going for it. So he might be just attempting to wait for the stable. So it's going to be scout rushing from him. Whereas somewhere else, something interesting happening, not much. Just at the top, you can see that Foghorn is dropping a barracks as well, as he is scouted by Menotti, and Menotti is just trying to see what he's going to be killing. Unfortunately for the yellow player, he's having absolutely brutal map to wall. That's like impossible to do for him. So yeah, he can expect pretty heavy raiding from the grey player, who is already ready for that, as he is advancing into feudal age just about now, and will be switching as a Han probably into stable as well also. So he's going to be pretty much a standard play and switching into knights once he advances into castle age. So already some colors that do not belong in the blue base. Going for barracks himself in Imanov, and probably going to be switching into archer range. Is usually, or usually, pretty much the only thing that he can do, or maybe he could be going for a bit more pikemen, but I don't really expect that. One barracks should be quite enough because of their sheer strength, but the scouts are already coming in, and yeah, he needs to be careful. So this Gal is not going to get alive from this. Just send the other one somewhere else. Yeah. Oh! Well, I bet that that was unexpected, and I bet that Vitok didn't expect that either. He was actually... Wow, that was weird. Well, she did pay with her life as well, but that was... that was kind of funny moment in there, and quite unexpected overall, but Raiden is really quite tough, and as you can see that Nimano is not building any palisades protecting his villas. It's going to be pretty hard for him to do anything with this. Even with the spearmen right now coming in onto the scene, as really the damage has already been dealt and the economy is being disrupted to his opponent. So archer ranges, of course, for Nimano. And let's see if he can survive long enough. I would be guessing that he can, but it's not really going to be easy if Pitoch is good at raiding. So far it seems like that he's paying attention with his micro. So let's see if it's going to be strong enough to deal with his opponent overall. Otherwise, we see also the raiding on the top, exactly as we were expecting from Menotti to Foghorn, as Foghorn has like no way to wall himself in. But switching as a Mongol into stable as well, so basically going for the same strategy as the opposing Mongol is for the Fox gaming. Well, it seems like that he's basically giving up on yellow and trying to have luck in the green pocket, which he will be. As you can see, that green is not really walled himself either. Just one wall on the right side, but not anything all that substantial. And yeah, of course, that's a bit of a problem, as it will allow you to be raided quite strongly, but pretty good response with the villagers. And let's see if Menotti is paying attention. Yes, he is, but with reinforcement coming in, it's not really going to last all that much longer, as these villagers are going to be dying one by one, slowly but surely, without any doubt whatsoever. In the meantime, we can see that Fox, Sobek together with LeO Arteras are both advancing into castle ages. That's Han and Mayan. Also going to be a bit of a difference, but finally Nimano was able to defend at least his gold, and still he hasn't at least attempted a wall at the top, which I think that he should. But so far it seems like that this is enough, and he's basically just sending all the units from purple into green, so he's right now raided by two opponents, which is definitely something that he is not very happy about at all. Photography for Sobek so that he knows what's happening, and wheelbarrow for Foghorn for some proper booming and whatnot. And also quite nice wall in here from Pitoch. Just making sure that he's not surprised by anything, but also a few idols in here that could definitely be better spent at some economy. Economy building and enlarging. Not much happening so far in Sobek's base, as all the raiding is right now happening in green. Poor guy. As his pockets basically sent all the units inside his base, and he is definitely not prepared for that. He does have just 2 spearmen, which might be enough against scout cavalry, but with proper coordination, a purple Pitoch together with the grey Menotti could be doing a whole lot of damage to his economy and stalling him as much as they could, and for a very, very long time, which would be kinda half killing his game overall. It seems like that grey is aiming in for the kill yet again. So is he going for the gold? Oh yes he is. Oh yes he is. So welcome. Goodbye Willy. And yeah, this is not a point for a will. Oh, he is going for a will fight, but I kinda think it's not the right decision. Because you can see, even through some mismanagement by Menotti, he's going to be losing 3 villages, and that's very well worth it. Even if the grey player loses everything, really, killing villagers is all they are good for, and that's exactly what is needed, because that means that he'll be getting advantage in the economy, and that's why you do this early raiding with reasonably set trash units like either militia or the scout cavalry in the early stage of the feudal age. So you can see that already knights are coming in from the Arteras player as he is advancing through castle age, and also LeO is attempting a bit of raiding of himself. He's probably going to be finding just a castle fire, which will deal with all his units quite soon indeed. Quite soon indeed. Second town center being built for a red. Third one at the back next to the stone. So where are you going? Trying to find something, but just switching to the top, so not anything substantial from you. And you can see quite adventurous actually walling from Pitoch. So he's trying to protect as much as he can, definitely wanting to protect this gold, which is very important for the expensive Mangudais, and maybe somehow wanting to also protect the stone for the castles, which every Mongolian player needs. It's going to be easy for him to finish here and here. And on the right side he's already finished, so yeah, pretty good map for him. So it seems like going pretty well for him overall. Just looking around the map right now, feudal age players in here, so not anything substantial that he should be seeing. Just that Nimano is actually going for a bit of raiding with his villages themselves. Not well. Of luck, as this walling is quite nicely done by the purple player. What to look at next? Well, it seems like that Menotti is quite nicely prepared for any kind of potential raiding, but needs to be careful about the lumberjacks obviously, as they are pretty soon going to be going through the wall, which is going to make for some surprise if he doesn't take care of it. But well, spearmen are coming in for the kill, so let's see if Fogorn is paying attention. Well, he isn't, is he? So that's why, well, basically 2 scouts pay for their lives for it. 3 hit points that's killed by absolutely anything. And second row of palisade walls is coming in. So that means that the grey player is going to be quite happy about all of this. In the meantime, we are seeing a bit of an amassment of army in some curious places. As LeO Arteras is going for a bit of an offensive with knights being pursued by Pitoch together with a few plumes by the red player Sobek, but yeah, needs a bit more plumes for that to work. Otherwise those knights will be just wrecking them. On. Well, probably not wanting to engage all that much. And yeah, that sucks. That wolf definitely didn't help. And right now we are going to be the other way around, as the knighties were going to be trying to pursue the archers, which are right now on a run from the wolf. And that's going to be quite easier for the archers to get rid of all of those. Green in the meantime is attempting to boom, at least with 2 town centers it seems like. Yeah, so far 2. Not anything else in there, as he's just building as many, or rather making as many knights as he can for proper raiding, and crossbowman botkin arrow coming on for Nimaro, so he is definitely thinking that he can make something substantial happen, and he has found his way inside the opponent's base, trying to stop a town center, but it's not going to work out all that much, especially with the knight coming in from the Mongolian player. And yep, that should be pretty much it, even with the reinforcements from Atras coming in. Plumed archers from the red are exactly what is needed, and that means goodbye crossbowmen, and of course also goodbye the knights from Atras. But pretty nice attempt by Nimaro, and he was able to take down some villages himself, so that was pretty nicely played, right about 2 or 3, so that was at least worth it. Not bad, not bad. So the situation is kinda handled in here, as we are seeing the proper economy right now going up from the proper player. And where did actually... Ah, here. Okay, so it wasn't really all that hard. And that's probably the skeleton of a villager. The villager that was building the walls in here, attempting to finish with the walls in here as well, but not really nothing that he would be allowed to do. So unfortunately for him, that's not going to work. We also see a bit of a friendly help as Foghorn is sending camels by the base of green, as Artras is already having a pretty decent amount of knights himself, but he is himself being raided by Menotti, and that's why all the camels are coming in to deal with the horses. It's probably not going to be needed all that much, but why not help if you can? And looking at the minimap, you can see that Sobek is also moving forward with the plumed archers, getting rid of the wildlife for the moment, but much more importantly, knights from Pitoch, who have just dealt with the nuisance at their home base, are arriving at the base of Nimano. Unfortunately a bit too late to deal with this town center, but still the problem is going to be here, as the economy is going to be disrupted for Nimano, and he's going to be falling behind even more than he already is, as he is right now at just 29 villagers, whereas his allies are at 42 and 51. And for the opponents it goes 55, 53 and 70 for Sobek for the pocket. That's going to be a pretty good iron pocket right there. And oh well, that hurt. That hurt, and that was exactly... I was talking about that like minute 1, that this is going to be a problem. And it exactly was, because of the archers in here and problems for Nimano with the cold gathering. Trying to get rid of the knights in here with some extra help from his town center. And finally, the knight in shining armor is coming in with all his knights in shining armor to get rid of other knights in shining armor. So, yep, it seems like that he'll be quite okay right now, Nimaro, and he might be wanting to somehow diversify a bit and go for the gold at the bottom, because this is not going to be safe anytime soon. And he probably needs to build about a castle at the top. Either he needs to wall at least this part of the map, so it's not that easy for the archers from the red player to actually wreak havoc inside his opponent's bases, or he needs to really build a castle in there. I was thinking that it might have been a pretty good spot on the top of the hill. It was a very high one, but... oh, well, tough times for Sobek. This is not going to be ideal. There are quite a lot of knights for him to deal with, and that's more than he can handle. Even though he's going for leather archer armor and ballistics, yeah, it's probably not going to be enough for dealing with this, so it's just going to be waiting for some kind of micro problem for Sobek. And once that happens, the knights are going to be having a feast. Walling finished in the bottom, or rather in the middle, so that the pocket and of course also the Mongolian player are pretty much safe. And as the Mongol is going for a heavy blow and is having 2 TC so far still, yeah, so that's kinda cheaper boom in here. He is already preparing for some other units from stable, and so far that's going to be camels. Alright, so let's see. And Sobek is advancing into Imperial Age, so maybe hoping that he can put in another level with his plumed archers once they go into Elite. Pretty good hill for him. Very good hill for him. And since Pitoch is having enough army in here to engage all the knights in here, this is so tough battle for Atras and so bad battle to take. And that's exactly what is happening right now, because he is getting absolutely wrecked. And with the camels making also an appearance for the purple player, oh well, this could be pretty deadly. for LeO, because obviously the green player has lost absolutely everything. He's having just a few reinforcements back in his base, but that is pretty much it for this battlefield at the bottom. And another slaughter of the archers, or rather of the bees. Yeah, let's just have a look at that. And also switch at the top, where we can see a bit of maneuvering with quite a lot of cavalry from both yellow player Foghorn and the grey player Menotti. So, Menotti needs to retreat because obviously he's having just knights against a whole lot of camels, which are the counters to knights in here, and with iron casting coming in, it still might not be enough, and he definitely wants to advance into the Imperial Age before he engages any army like that, as he needs to get the cavaliers at least. So at the battle, there was an attempt to at least place a siege workshop, basically to plug the hole in here more than anything else. But that's not going to be working all that much for Nimano, who is still at 29 villies, unfortunately for him, and he is in a pretty deep trench right about now, and it's going to be very hard to get out of, as the slopes are getting slippery, more slippery by the moment. Nicely played by Red, eliminating as much room for the green player to attack as possible, and he does get in them one by one without any kind of problem. So Imperial Age coming in, and GG is coming in exactly with that. And second game goes for the home map, and for the team on the home map, Fox. And the overall score is then 1-1. Well, let's have a look then onto the achievements. So back as the MVP, well, he wasn't really all that much rated and he was in the pocket, so yep, that is something that we could be expecting. But from LeO's, they weren't really playing half bad. Artera's pretty good trading, Foghorn was having a very nice game against Menotti in there. Not bad, bad at all. Yeah, good echo from Sobek. The pocket in there. Well, GG then.